My friend Serge has bought a painting. It's a canvas about 2 feet by 3 feet. White. The background is white, and if you screw up your eyes, you can make out fine white diagonal lines. Serge is one of my oldest friends. He's done very well for himself. He's a dermatologist, and he's really into art. On Monday, I went over to see the painting. Serge and actually got hold of it on Sunday. And he's been lusting after it for several months. This white painting with white lines. Expensive?
200,000.
200,000.
Jean Delaunay will take it off my hands for 220.
Who's that?
Delaunay?
Never heard of him.
Jean Delaunay, the Delaunay Gallery.
The Delaunay Gallery would take it off your hands for 220.
No, not the gallery. Him, Delaunay himself, for his own collection.
So why didn't Delaunay buy it?
Well, it's important for them to sell to private clients. That's how the market circulates.
Uh-huh.
Well? Oh, you're not in the right place. No, you should look at it from this angle here. Can you see the lines?
What's the name of the
Painter. Antrios.
well known?
Very. Oh, very.
Serge. Serge. You have bought this painting for $200,000.
Yes, but you don't understand. That is what this costs. It is an Antrios.
You have bought this painting for $200,000.
I knew that you would miss the point.
You paid $200,000 for this crap.
My friend Mark is an intelligent enough guy. I've always valued our relationship. He has a good job, he's an aeronautical engineer, but he's one of those new style intellectuals who are not only enemies of modernism, but seem to take some sort of incomprehensible pride in running it down. In recent years, these nostalgia merchants have become quite breathtakingly arrogant. What do you mean, this crap?
Serge, where's your sense of humor? Why aren't you laughing? It's fantastic you buying this painting.
I don't care how fantastic you think it is. I don't even mind if you laugh, but I would like to know what you mean by this crap.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. By whose standards is this crap? If you call something crap, you need to have some criterion to judge it by.
Who are you talking to? Who do you think you're talking to? Hello?
You have no interest whatsoever in contemporary painting. You never have. This is a field about which you know absolutely nothing. So how can you assert that any given object which conforms to laws you don't understand is crap?
Because it is! It's crap! I'm sorry.
He doesn't like the painting. Fine, but there was no warmth in the way he reacted. No attempt, no warmth when he dismissed it without a thought. Just that vile, pretentious laugh. A know-it-all laugh. I hated that laugh.
It's a complete mystery to me, Serge buying this painting. It's unsettling to me. It's filled me with some undefinable unease. When I left this place, I had to take 3 pellets of gelatinum. 9 centimeters! Which Paula recommended. Thank God for Paula. Gelatin and Ignatia, she said. Gelatin and Ignatia, she said. Which one do you prefer? I mean, how the hell should I know about the difference between Gelatia and... Because I couldn't begin to understand how Serge, my friend, could have bought that painting. 200,000. He's uncomfortable, but he's not rolling in money. I mean, you know, I comfortable is what I meant to say. And he spends 200,000 on a white painting. I have to go see Yvonne. He's a friend of ours. I have to discuss this with Yvonne. Although Yvonne's a very tolerant guy, which, of course, when it comes to relationships and the wrong thing you can be, Yvonne's tolerant because he could care less. If Yvonne tolerates the fact that Serge has spent 200 grand on some piece of white crap, it means he couldn't care less about Serge, obviously.
I'm Yvonne. I'm a little tense at the moment because having spent my life in textiles, I just found a new job as a sales agent for a wholesale stationery business. People like me. My professional life has always been a failure, and I'm getting married in 2 weeks. She's a lovely, brilliant girl from a good family.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for the top of my pen.
All right, that's enough.
I had it 5 minutes ago.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Oh, forget about. Buy another pen.
It's a very special felt tip. It writes on any surface. Oh, it's infuriating. Objects. I can't tell you how much they infuriate me. I had it in my hand 5 minutes ago.
Are you going to live here?
Yeah, you think it's suitable for a young couple?
Young couple.
All right, well, try not to laugh like that in front of Catherine. I mean, yeah.
How's the stationery business?
It's all right. I'm learning.
You've lost weight.
A little. I'm pissed off about that top. It'll all dry up.
If you keep looking for that top, I'm leaving.
All right, okay, I'll stop. You want something to drink?
A Perrier, if you have one. Have you seen Serge lately?
No. Have you?
Yesterday.
Is he okay?
Yes, he's just bought a painting.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
White.
White.
White. Imagine a white canvas, 2 by 3 feet, with a white background, completely white in fact, with fine white diagonal stripes. You know, maybe after another horizontal white line towards the bottom.
Well, how can you see them?
What?
These white lines. If the background's white, how can you see the lines?
You just can't. Because I suppose the lines are slightly gray or vice versa, or... Anyway, there are degrees of white. There's more than one kind of white.
Okay, all right, listen, don't get upset. Why are you even getting upset in the first place?
You immediately start quibbling. Why aren't you letting me finish?
All right, go on.
All right. So you have an idea what the painting looks like.
I think so, yeah.
Now, you have to guess how much Serge paid for it.
Who's the painter?
Antrios. Ever heard of him?
No. Is he fashionable?
I knew you were going to ask.
Well, it's logical.
No, it's not logical.
Of course it's logical. You asked me to guess the price. You know very well the price depends on how fashionable the painter is.
I'm not asking you to apply a whole set of critical standards. I'm not asking you for a professional estimate. I'm adding you what you, Yaban, would pay for a white painting gussied up with a few white stripes.
Crap.
Right. And what about Serge? Pick a figure at random.
10,000. 50,000. 100,000.
Keep going.
150. 200.
200. 200 grand.
No.
Yes.
200 grand.
200 grand.
Has he gone crazy?
Looks like it.
I mean, all the same, you know.
What do you mean, all the same?
If it makes him happy, he can afford it. You know.
So this is what you think, huh?
Why? What do you think?
You don't understand the seriousness of it, do you?
No.
It's strange how you're missing the basic point of the story. All you can see is the externals. You don't understand the seriousness of it.
All right. What is the seriousness of it?
You don't understand what this means.
You want a cashew?
You don't see that suddenly, in some grotesque way, Serge sees himself as a collector.
Well,
From now on, Alfred Serge is one of the great connoisseurs.
oh, that's crap.
Nonsense. Of course it's nonsense. You can buy your way in that cheap, but that's what he thinks.
Oh, I see.
Doesn't this bother you?
No, not if it makes him happy.
It makes him happy. What's that supposed to mean?
As long as it's not doing harm to anyone else.
But it is! It's doing harm to me! I'm disturbed. I'm disturbed more than that. I'm hurt. Yes, I am. I'm a fond friend of Serge, and to see him let himself be ripped off and lose every ounce of discernment through sheer snobbery.
I don't know why you're so surprised. He always haunted art galleries like crazy. He's always been an exhibition freak.
He's always been a freak. But a freak with a sense of humor. You see, basically what really upsets me is that you can't laugh with him anymore.
Well, I'm sure you can.
You can't.
Have you tried?
Of course I tried. I laughed. Hardly even. What do you think I did? He didn't crack a smile, although 200 grand, that's kind of an expensive laugh.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah. I'll make him laugh.
I'd be amazed and more nuts.
Yeah. He'll laugh. You'll see.
You get along with the in-laws?
Wonderfully. As far as they're concerned, I'm just some jerk stumbling from one iffy job to another, and I'm not groping my way into the world of vellum. This thing on my hand, what is it? Is it serious?
Oh. No.
Good. So what's new?
Nothing. A lot of work. I'm exhausted. It's nice to see you. You never call.
I don't like to disturb you.
You're kidding. You just speak to my secretary and I'll call you right back.
I guess so. Look, your place gets more and more, I don't know, monastic.
Yes. Have you seen Mark lately?
No, lately, no. Have you?
Yeah, 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh. Is he alright?
Yes, more or less.
Oh.
No, he's all right.
I talked to him on the phone last week. He seemed alright.
No, he is. He's all right.
You seem to be implying he wasn't
On
alright.
the contrary, I said he was all right.
More or less.
Yes,
you
more
said.
or less, all right.
Okay. You been out? Seen anything?
No, can't afford to go out.
Oh.
I'm ruined.
Oh.
You want to see something? Would you like to see something special? Would you like to?
Sure I would. Show me. Ah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's Antrios.
Yes.
It's a 70s Antrios. It's worth mentioning. He's going through a similar phase now, but this one is from the 70s.
Yes. Well, yeah. Expensive or?
In absolute terms, yes. In fact, no. Do you like it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
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 It's plain.
Plain.
Yes.
Yes. And at the same time.
Magnetic.
Yes. Yes.
You don't really get the resonance just at the moment.
Oh, well, a little.
No. You don't. You have to come back in the middle of the day. The resonance you get from something monochromatic. It doesn't really happen under artificial light.
Aha.
Not that it actually is monochromatic.
Oh, no. How much?
200,000.
Very reasonable.
Very, yeah. Is it crazy or what?
Crazy.
200,000, I mean. It's 200,000. Oh. You know, Mark has seen this painting.
Oh.
Devastated.
Oh.
He told me that this was crap. A completely inappropriate description.
Absolutely.
You cannot call this crap.
No.
You can say, I don't get it. I can't grasp it. You cannot say, it's crap.
Have you seen his place?
There's nothing to see. It's like yours. It's... what I mean is that you couldn't care less.
His taste is classical.
Oh.
Or he likes things classical. What do you expect?
But he started in with this sardonic laugh. Not a trace of charm, not a trace of humor.
You know, Mark is moody.
Yeah.
Nothing new about that.
He has no sense of humor. With you, I could laugh. With him, it's like a block of ice.
Yeah, it's true. He's a little gloomy right now.
Oh, no, I don't blame him for not responding to this painting. He doesn't have the training. There's a whole apprenticeship you have to go through, which he hasn't, either because he's never wanted to or because he has no particular instinct for it. None of that matters, no. What I blame him for is his tone of voice, his smugness, his tactlessness. I blame him for his insensitivity. I don't blame him for not being interested in modern art. I couldn't give a crap about that. I like him, for other reasons. I do. I like Mark for other reasons.
And he likes you?
No. I felt it the other day. A kind of condescension, contempt, with a bitter edge.
No.
Yes. Don't you keep trying to smooth things over with us. Where do you keep getting this urge to be the great reconciler of the human race? No, why don't you just admit that Mark is atrophying. If he hasn't already atrophied.
We laughed.
You laughed.
We laughed. Both of us. We laughed. I promise you on Catherine's life we had a good laugh. Both of us together.
You told him it was crap, and you had a good laugh.
No, I didn't tell him it was crap. We laughed spontaneously.
You arrived, you looked at the painting, and you laughed. And then he laughed.
Yes, something like that. We talked a little, and then it was pretty much the way you described it.
And was it a genuine laugh?
Perfectly genuine.
Well, then I've made a mistake. Good. I'm really pleased to hear it.
It was even better than you think. It was Serge who laughed first.
It was Serge who laughed first?
Yes.
He laughed first and you joined in.
Yes.
But what made him laugh?
Well, he laughed because he sensed I was about to laugh. I guess he laughed to put me at my ease.
It doesn't count if he laughed first. If he laughed first, it was to diffuse your laughter. It means it wasn't a genuine laugh.
It was a genuine laugh.
It might have been a genuine laugh, but it wasn't for the right reasons.
All right, what is the right reason? I'm confused.
He wasn't laughing because his painting is ridiculous. You and he weren't laughing for the same reasons. You were laughing at the painting, and he was laughing to ingratiate himself, to put himself on your wavelength, to show that on top of being who can spend more on a painting than you can earn in a year? He's still the same old rebellious pal you used to kid around with.
Mm-hmm. You know,
Yes,
this is going to amaze you.
go on.
I didn't like the painting, but I didn't actually hate it.
Well, of course not. You can't hate what's invisible. You can't hate nothing.
No, it was something.
What do you mean?
It has something. It's not nothing.
You're kidding.
I'm not as harsh as you. It's a work of art. There's a system behind it.
A system.
A system.
What system?
It's a completion of a journey. It wasn't painted by accident. It's a work of art which stakes its claim as part of a trajectory. Go ahead, laugh.
Oh my God. You're parroting all of Serge's nonsense. From him, it's heartbreaking. From you, it's just comical.
You know, Mark, this smugness, you want to watch that. You're getting bitter. It's not very attractive.
Good. The older I get, the more offensive I hope to become.
Great.
A system?
You're impossible to talk to.
There's a system behind it. You look at this piece of crap, but never mind, there's a system behind it. You think there's a system behind this landscape? No, it's too evocative, too expressive. Everything's on the canvas, no scope for a system.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Oh my goodness, I can't. You look. Speak for yourself. Describe your feelings to me.
I felt a resonance.
You You filled a resin.
You're denying that I'm capable of appreciating this painting for myself.
Of course I am.
Well, why?
Because I know you. Because apart from being disastrously open-minded, you're quite sane.
I wish I could say the same for you.
Yvonne, look me in the eye.
I'm looking at you.
Were you moved by Serge's painting?
No.
Answer me this. You and Catherine get this painting as a wedding present. Does it make you happy? Does it make you happy?
Of course it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't make me happy, but generally speaking, I'm not the sort of person who can say I'm happy, just like that. I'm trying to think of an occasion when I could have said, yes, I'm happy. Are you happy to be getting married? My mother stupidly asked me one day, are you at least happy to be getting married? Why wouldn't I be? What do you mean? Why wouldn't I be? You're either happy or you're not happy. That's why wouldn't I be? What does happiness have to do with it?
As far as I'm concerned, it's not white. When I say as far as I'm concerned, I mean objectively. Objectively speaking, it's not white. It has a white background with a whole range of grays. There's even some red in it. Yeah. You could say it's very pale. I wouldn't like it if it was white. Mark thinks that it is white. That is his limit. Mark thinks it's white because he's gotten hung up on the idea that it is white. Unlike Yvonne, Yvonne can see if it isn't white. Mark can think what he likes. I mean, what do I care?
Obviously, I should have taken the value. Why do I have to be so categorical? What possible difference can it make to me if Serge lets himself be taken in by modern art? I mean, it's a serious matter. But I could have found some other way to put it to him. I could have used a less aggressive tone. Even if it makes me physically ill that my best friend has bought a white painting, all the same I ought to avoid attacking him about it. I have to be nicer to him. From now on, I'm on my best behavior.
Feel like a laugh?
Go on.
Yvonne likes the Antrios.
Where is it?
You want another look here? Come on. I knew that you would come around to it. Yvonne got it. Right away.
Let me see it.
Let's see. All right, listen. It's just a picture. We don't have to get bogged down with this. Life is too short. That's it. Oh, by the way, have you read this?
No. Let me.
Read it. It's a masterpiece. Incredibly modern. Read that and you don't need to read anything else. What with the office and the hospital, Francois, who's now decreed that I should see the children every weekend, which is something new for Francois. The notion that children need a father. I don't have time to read anymore. I'm obliged to go straight for the essentials, as in painting, where you have ingeniously eliminated form and color.
As in painting.
Yes.
Where you've ingeniously eliminated form and color. Those old chestnuts.
Yes. Although I'm still quite capable of appreciating more figurative work, like your Flemish number. It's very restful.
What's Flemish about it? It's a view of
Carcassonne, yes, but I mean it's slightly Flemish in style, the window and the view. In any case, it's all very, very pretty.
It's It's not worth anything, you know that.
Oh, what difference does that make? Anyway, in a few years, God knows if the Antrios will be worth anything.
You know, I've been thinking and I've changed my mind. The other day, driving across town, I was thinking about you and I said to myself, isn't there deep down something really poetic about what Serge has done? It's surrendering to the incoherent urge to buy, in fact, an authentically poetic impulse.
You're very conciliatory today. Unrecognizable. What's this bland, submissive tone of voice? No, it doesn't suit you at all. No, not at all.
No. I'm trying to explain. I'm apologizing.
Apologizing? What for?
I'm too thin-skinned. I'm too high-strung. I overreact. You could say I lack judgment.
Read Seneca.
That's it. See, for instance, you say, read Seneca, and I could easily have gotten annoyed. I'm quite capable of being really annoyed by you saying to me in the course of our conversation, read Seneca, which is about absurd to me.
No, it's not absurd. Not absurd at all.
Really?
No, because you thought that you could identify.
I couldn't say I was annoyed.
You said that you could say it easily.
Yes, I could easily.
You could easily get annoyed, and I could understand that, because when I said, read Seneca, you thought you could identify a superiority. You tell me that you are lacking judgment, and my answer to you is, read Seneca. Well, that's obnoxious, I admit.
Is it a little?
Well, having said that, it's true that you do lack judgment, because I didn't say, read Seneca. I said, read Seneca.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
The matter of fact is, you've quite simply lost your sense of humor.
Probably.
You've lost your sense of humor, Mark. You really have. You've lost your sense of humor. When I was talking to Yvonne the other day, we agreed that you had lost this sense of humor. And where the hell is he anyway? He's incapable of being on time. This is infuriating. We're going to miss the beginning.
Yvonne thinks I've lost my sense of humor.
Well, Yvonne agrees with me that recently you have somewhat lost your sense of humor.
The last time you saw each other, Yvonne said he liked your painting very much, and I lost my sense of humor.
Yes, the painting. Yes, he liked it really very much. And he meant it. Here. What are you eating?
Ignatia.
You believe in homeopathy now?
I don't believe in anything.
Didn't you think Yvonne had recently lost weight?
So she...
It's the wedding. It's eating away at them.
Yes.
How's Paula?
All right. Where are you going to put it?
The Antrios. I haven't decided. There or there. That's too ostentatious.
Are you going to have it framed?
No.
Why not?
It's not supposed to be framed.
Is that right?
The artist does not want it to be. It must not be interrupted, for it is already in its setting. You see?
What is it? Adhesive tape?
No. This is craft paper made by the artist.
What else am I supposed to say?
Well, you say that the artist, you could say painter, but whatever their name is, you say Antrios.
But you say the artist, as if he's some sort of, anyway, it doesn't matter. What are we seeing tonight? Let's try and see a movie with a little substance for once.
It's 8 o'clock. Everything will have started. I can't imagine how this man, who has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do, am I right? He really doesn't. He manages to be late every single time. Where is he?
Let's just eat dinner.
No, all right. It's 8:05. We said we'd meet between 7 and half past. What did you mean when we were talking about the artist? What did you mean?
Nothing. I was going to say something stupid.
Well, all right. Go on.
You say that the artist as if he's some unattainable being. The artist some sort of god.
Well, for me, he is a god. You don't think I'd have forked over a fortune for a mere mortal?
Well, no.
I went to the Pompidou on Monday. You know how many Antrioses they have at the Pompidou? Three Antrioses. 3 Antrioses at the Pompidou.
Amazing.
And mine is as good as any of them, if not better. Listen. I have a suggestion. Let's give Yvonne exactly 3 more minutes, and then get the hell out of here. I found a great new place. Lyonnaise food.
Why are you so jumpy?
I'm not jumpy.
Yes, you're jumpy.
I'm not jumpy. All right, I am jumpy. I'm jumpy because this slackness is intolerable. His inability to practice any kind of self-discipline.
The fact is, I'm getting on your nerves, and you're taking it out on poor Yvonne.
What do you mean, poor Yvonne? Are you kidding me? You're not getting on my nerves. Why should you be getting on my nerves? He's getting on my nerves. Okay, it's true. He is getting on my nerves. It's this ingratiating tone of voice, a little smile behind every word. It's as if he's forcing himself to be pleasant. Don't be pleasant. Whatever you do, do not be pleasant. Could it be the Antrios? Yes. Could buying the Antrios have triggered this feeling of constraint between us? Buying something without his approval. Screw his approval. Screw your approval, Mark.
Could it be the Antrios? Buying the Antrios? No, it started some time ago. To be precise, it started on the day we were discussing some work of art, and you uttered quite seriously the word deconstruction. It wasn't so much the word deconstruction that upset me, it was the air of solemnity you imbued with it. You said humorously, unapologetically, without trace of irony, the word deconstruction. You, my friend, I didn't know the best way to handle the situation, so I made this throwaway remark. I said, I guess I must be getting intolerant in my old age. And your response was, who do you think you are? What makes you so high and mighty? What gives you the right to set me apart? Serge responded in the most crappy possible way, and totally unexpectedly. You're just Mark. What makes you think you're so special? That day I should have punched him right in the mouth. And then he was lying there on the ground, half dead. I should have said to him, you're supposed to be my friend. What sort of a friend are you, Serge? Don't think your friends are special. Lyonnaise, you say? Little heavy, isn't it? Little fatty, all those sausages. What do you think?
Oh, here he comes. 12 minutes past 8.
So, a crisis, insoluble problem, major crisis. Both stepmothers want their names on the wedding invitation. Catherine adores her stepmother, who more or less brought her up. She wants her name on the invitation. She wants it, and her stepmother is not anticipating, which is understandable, since the mother is dead, not appearing next to Catherine's father. Whereas my stepmother, whom I detest, it's out of the question her name should appear anywhere on the invitation. But my father won't have his name on it if hers isn't, unless Catherine's stepmother is left off, which is completely unacceptable. I suggested none of the parents' names be on it. After all, we're not adolescents, and we can announce our wedding and invite people ourselves. So Catherine screamed her head off, arguing that would be a slap in the face of her parents who are paying through the nose for the reception, and particularly for her stepmother, who's gone to so much trouble when she isn't even her daughter, and I finally let myself be persuaded. Today, against my better judgment, because she finally wore me down. I finally agreed that my stepmother, whom I detest, who's a complete bitch, will have her name on the invitation. So I telephoned my mother to warn her. Mother, I say, I've done everything I can to avoid this, but we have absolutely no choice. Colette's name has to be on the invitation. She said, if Colette's name is on the invitation, take mine off it. Mother, I said, please, I beg you, don't make things even more difficult. She said, how dare you suggest my name is left to float around on the card on its own as if I was some abandoned woman below Colette who'll be clamped on your father's name like a limpet. I said to her, Mother, I have friends waiting for me. I'm going to hang up and we'll discuss all of this tomorrow after a good night's sleep. She said, why is I'm always an afterthought? What are you talking about, Mother? You're not always an afterthought. Of course I am. When you say you don't make things even more difficult, what you really mean is everything's already been decided. Everything's been organized without me. Everything's been cooked up behind my back. Good old Nadia, she'll agree to everything and all of this, and in the event of anything else, importance of which I'm having some trouble grasping. Mother, I have friends waiting. That's right. There's always something better to do. Anything more important than I. Good night. I hung up. Catherine, who was next to me, but she hadn't heard her side of the conversation, said, oh, what did she say? I said, she doesn't want to have her name on the invitation with Colette, which is understandable. I'm not talking about that. What did she say about the wedding? Nothing. You're lying. I'm not. Kathy, I promise you, she doesn't want her name on the invitation with Colette. Call her back and tell her when your mother's son's getting married, you rise above the vanity. Well, you could also say the same thing to your stepmother. That's got nothing to do with it, Catherine shouted. It's me. I'm the one who's insisting her name is on it. It's not her. The poor thing, she's tact personified. If she had any idea of the problem this is causing, she'd be down on her knees begging for her name to be taken off the invitation. Now call your mother. So I call her again. By now I'm in shreds. Catherine's listening on the extension. Yvonne, my mother says, up to now you've conducted your affairs in the most chaotic way imaginable, and just because out of the blue you've decided to embark on matrimony, I find myself obligated to spend all afternoon evening with your father, a man I haven't seen for 17 years, to whom I was not expecting to have to reveal my hip size and my puffed cheeks, not to mention Colette, who incidentally I may tell you, according to Felix, has now taken up bridge. My mother always played bridge. I can see all that can be helped, but on the invitation, the one item everyone is going to receive and examine, I insist on making a solo appearance. My mother. Catherine, listening on the extension, shakes her head, screws up her face in disgust. Mother, I say, why are you so selfish? I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish. Yvonne, you're not going to start too. You're not going to start like Mrs. Romero this morning, who's telling me I have a heart of stone, that everybody in our family has a heart of stone. That's what Mrs. Romero said this morning to me. She's gone completely insane, by the way, when I refused to raise her pay to $60 an hour, and she had to call the goal to say that everyone in the family had a heart of stone, and then she knows perfectly well about your poor Antrios pacemaker. You haven't even bothered to drop him a line. Yes, that's right, very funny. Everything's a joke to you. It's not me who's the selfish one, Yvonne. You've still got a lot to learn about life, but you go, darling. You go ahead and you see your precious friends.
Then what happened?
Nothing. Nothing was resolved. I hung up. Mini drama with Catherine, cut short because I was late.
Why do you let yourself be screwed over by these women?
Why do I let myself be screwed over? I don't know. They're all insane.
You've lost weight.
Of course I have 10 pounds purely through stress.
Read Seneca.
The Happy Life? Just what I need. What's he suggest?
It's a masterpiece.
Oh?
He hasn't read it.
Oh.
No, but Serge just told me it was a masterpiece.
I said it was a masterpiece because it is a masterpiece.
Right.
It is a masterpiece.
Why are you getting so annoyed?
You seem to be insinuating that I use the word masterpiece any chance I get.
Not at all.
You said the word in a kind of sarcastic way.
Not at all.
Yes. Yes, the word masterpiece in a kind of the tone.
Is he crazy? Not at all. However, when you use the word, you qualified it by saying incredibly modern.
Yes. So?
You said incredibly modern. As if modern was the highest compliment you could give. As if when describing something, you could think of anything more admirable, more profoundly admirable than modern.
Okay, so.
You said incredibly modern. So nothing.
Yeah.
And please note I made no mention of the word incredibly modern.
You are really needling me today.
I'm not.
You're not going to fight. That would just about finish me off.
You don't think it's extraordinary that a man who wrote nearly 2,000 years ago should stay so completely up to date?
No, of course not. That's the definition of a classic.
You're just playing with words.
So what are we going to do? I guess we can forget about the movies. I'm sorry. Did you want to go and eat or?
Serge tells me you were taken by his painting.
Yes, I am kind of taken with it. Yes. You're not, I gather.
No. Let's go eat. Serge has very tempting recommendation. Lyonnaise.
You think that food is too fatty?
I think the food's a little bit on the fatty side, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
No. You think the food's too fatty? We will find somewhere else.
No. Let's give it a shot.
We'll go to the restaurant if you think you'll like it. If not, we won't. Ivan, do you like Lyonnaise food?
Yeah, I'll eat whatever you eat.
Okay.
He'll do whatever you like. Whatever you like. He'll always do whatever you like.
What's the matter with you? You're both acting very strange.
He's right, though. Once in a while, you could have an opinion of your own.
Listen, if you think you're going to use me as your punching bag, I am out of here. I put up with enough today.
Where's your sense of humor, Yvonne?
What? Where's my sense of humor? Where's my sense of humor? I don't see anything to laugh at. Where's my sense of humor? Are you trying to be funny?
No, I think recently you've somewhat lost your sense of humor. You better watch that, believe me.
What's the matter with you?
Don't you think recently I've also somewhat lost my sense of humor?
Oh, I see.
All right. This is enough. Let us make a decision. To tell you the truth, I'm not even hungry.
You're both really sinister this evening.
You want my opinion about your women problems?
Go on.
In my view, the most hysterical of them all is Catherine by far.
No question.
And if you're already letting yourself be screwed over by her, you are in for a hideous future.
What can I do?
Cancel it.
Cancel the wedding.
He's right.
But I can't. Are you crazy?
Why not?
Well, because I can't, that's all. It's all arranged. I've only been working in the stationery business for a month.
What's that got to do with it?
It's her uncle's stationery business. He had absolutely no need to take on anyone. Least of all someone who's only ever worked in textiles.
Do whatever you want. I've told you what I think.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't mean to be rude, but you're not necessarily the person I'd come to for a matrimonial advice. You can't claim to have been a great success in that field.
Precisely.
Right, I can't back out of the wedding. I know Catherine is hysterical, but she has her good points. There are certain crucial qualities you need when you're marrying someone like me. Where are you going to put it?
Well, the Antrios. Oh, I don't know yet.
Well, why don't you put it there?
You there? Because, there it'll be wiped out by the sunlight.
Oh, yes. I thought of you today at the store. We ran off 500 posters by this guy who paints white flowers. Totally white. On a white background.
The Antrios is not white.
No, no, of course not. I was just saying.
You think this painting is not white, Yvonne?
Not entirely, no.
Oh, then what color is it?
Well, various colors. There's yellows, there's gray,
And
some slightly ochreish lines.
And you're moved by these colors.
Yes, I'm moved by these colors.
You're spineless, Yvonne. You have no substance. You are an amoeba.
Why are you attacking Yvonne like this?
Because he's a little kiss ass. He's obnoxious. Dazzled by money, dazzled by what he's believed in culture, and you know culture is something I completely despise.
What have has gotten into you.
How could you, Yvonne? And in front of me, Yvonne.
What do you mean in front of you? What do you mean in front of you? I find these colors touching, yes. If it's all the same to you, stop wanting to control everything.
How could you say in front of me that you find the colors touching?
Because it's the truth.
The truth. You find these colors trusting.
Yes, I find these colors touching.
You find these colors touching, Yvonne.
He finds the colors touching. He is perfectly entitled to find the colors touching.
No, he's not entitled.
What do you mean he's not entitled to?
No.
I'm not entitled to.
No.
Why is he not entitled? I don't think you're feeling very well. Maybe you should go and see somebody.
He's not entitled to say he finds these colors touching because he doesn't.
I don't find these colors touching.
There are no colors. You can't see them and you don't find them.
Touching. Well, speak for yourself.
This is
really demeaning, Yvonne.
Who do you think you are, Mark? Who are you to legislate? You don't like anything. You despise everyone. You take pride in not being a man of your time.
What's that supposed to mean? A man of my time.
Okay, I'm leaving.
Wait, where are you going?
I'm leaving. I don't see why I have to be put up with any of these tantrums.
No, don't go. You're not going to start taking offense, are you? If you go, you're giving in to him. A man of his time is a man who lives in his own time.
How can a man live in any other time but his own? Answer me that.
A man of his time is someone of whom it can be said in 20 years or in 100 years' time that he was representative of his era.
To what end?
What do you mean, to what end?
What used to be is somebody says I was representative of my era.
Listen, sweetheart, we're not talking about you here. If you can imagine such a thing. We don't care about you. A man of his time, I'm trying to explain to you, like most people you admire is someone who makes some kind of contribution to the human race. A man of his time doesn't assume the history of art has come to an end with a pseudo-Flemish view of Cavaillon.
Caristhion.
Oh, same thing. A man of his time plays his part in the fundamental dynamic of evolution.
And that's a good thing in your mind.
It's not good or bad. Why do you always have to moralize? It's just the way things are.
And you, for example, you play your part in the fundamental dynamic of evolution.
I do.
What about Yvonne?
Well, surely not. What part can an amoeba play?
In his way, Ivan is a man of his time.
How can you tell? Not from the motel painting he has hanging on his walls.
That is not a motel painting.
It is a motel painting.
It is not.
Well, what's the difference? Ivan represents a certain way of life, a way of thinking which is completely modern. And so do you. I'm sorry, but you are a typical man of your time. In fact, the harder you try not to be, the more you are.
Well, okay, fine. So what's the problem?
There is no problem, except for you, because you take pride in your desire to shut yourself off from humanity, and you'll never manage to. It's like you're in quicksand. The more you struggle to get out of it, the deeper you will sink. Now, apologize to Yvonne.
Yvonne is a coward.
Oh, bravo.
I wasn't a good idea to see each other tonight, was it? I ought to go too.
Maybe.
Right.
You're the coward. Attacking someone who's incapable of defending himself, as you well know.
You're right. When you put it like that, it makes me feel even worse. The thing is, all of a sudden I can't understand. I have no idea what binds me to Yvonne. I have no idea what my relationship with him consists of.
Ivan Yvonne has always been what he is.
No, he used to be eccentric. Kind of absurd. He was always unstable, but his eccentricity was disarming.
What about me?
What about you?
Do you have any idea what binds you to me?
That's a question that could take us down a very long road.
Lead on.
I'm sorry I upset you, Vaughn.
Now, you finally said something approximately human. What makes it worse is that the motel painting he has hanging on his wall was, I'm afraid to say, painted by his father.
It was crap.
I know, yes, it was.
But you said...
I know. I remembered it as soon as I said it. Oh, crappy.
Oh, dear.
Yvonne returns. The elevator was full. I plunged down the stairs, clattering all the way down, thinking a coward, an amoeba, no substance. I thought I'll come back with a gun and I'll blow his head off. Then he'll see how spineless and obsequious I am. I got to the lobby and I said to myself, listen, pal, you haven't been in therapy for 6 years to wind up shooting your best friend, and you haven't been in therapy for 6 years without learning that some deep anxiety must lie behind his insane aggression. So I relaunched myself, telling myself as I mount the penitential stair, this is a cry for help. I have to help Mark. If it's the last thing I do. In fact, the other day I discussed you both with my doctor.
You discussed us with Dr. Finkelzone?
I discuss everything with Dr. Finkelzone.
What exactly were you discussing about us?
I forbid you to discuss me with that moron.
You're in no position to forbid me anything.
Why were you discussing us?
I knew your relationship was under strain, and I wanted Finkelzone to explain.
What did the bastard say?
He said something kind of amusing.
They're allowed to give their opinion?
No, they never give their opinions, but this time he did give his opinion. He even made a gesture, and he never makes a gesture. He's always cold. I sometimes say to him, for God's sake, move around a little.
All right. What did he say?
Gives a tootie hoot what he said.
What did he say?
What possible interest could we have in what he said?
I just want to know what the doctor said, all right?
You know what?
You took notes?
Yeah, I wrote it down because it was complicated. Should I read it to you?
Go on.
Okay. If I'm who I am because I'm who I am, and you're who you are because you're who you are, then I'm who I am and you're who you are. If, on the other hand, I'm who I am because you're who you are, and if you're who you are because I'm who I am, then I'm not who I am, and you're not who you are.
How much do you pay this man?
$400 a session, twice a week.
Great. You're very lucky to be getting the benefit of this man's experience.
Absolutely. We'd really appreciate it if you'd make a copy of that for us.
Yes,
That'd be
it's
lovely.
bound to come in handy.
You're wrong. It's very profound.
If it's because of him you've come back here to turn the other cheek, you should be grateful to him. He's cut out your eyeballs, but you're happy. That's all that counts.
And all this because he doesn't want to believe I like your Antrios.
I don't care what you think of it. Either of you.
The more I see it, the more I like it. Honest.
Let's stop talking about this painting, shall we? Once and for all, I have no interest in discussing this further.
Why are you so touchy?
I'm not touchy, Mark. You've all told us what you think. So fine. This subject is closed.
You're getting upset.
No, I'm not getting upset. I am just, exhausted.
See, if you're touchy about it, it means you're too caught up in other people's opinions.
I'm exhausted, Mark. This is completely pointless. To tell you the truth, I'm really on the brink of getting bored with the both of you.
I don't know, let's go eat.
You go. Why don't you go off together?
No, it's so rare the three of us are together.
Just as well, by the look of it.
I don't understand what's going on. Can't we just calm down? There's no reason to insult each other, especially over a painting.
You realize all of this calm down and waving the white flag is just adding fuel to the fire. Is this some sort of new thing?
I will not be undermined.
Very impressive. Maybe I should go to this Finkelstein.
You can't, there are no vacancies. What's that you're eating?
Joseum.
Alright. I've given into the logic of events. Marriage, children, death, stationary. What else can happen?
We're not worthy to look at it.
No, you're not. It needs to be kept at a distance from your eyes. At this time, I don't care what either of you think of it, and I'm not touchy. And Mark, I just need you to know that I have given in to this. I understand why you're saying what you're saying. Do you know what Paul Valery says? I'd like to go a bit further than that.
I don't care what Paul Valery says.
You stopped liking Paul Valery?
Don't quote Paul Valery at me.
You used to love Paul Valery.
I don't care what Paul Valery says.
But I discovered him through you. You're the one who got me into Paul Valery.
Don't quote Paul Valery at me. I don't care what Paul Valery says.
Fine. What do you care about?
I care about you buying that painting. I care about you spending 200 grand on that piece of crap.
Don't start again, Mark.
I'm going to tell you what I care about. Since everyone's coming clean, I care about your snickering and your insinuations, your suggestion that I also think this picture is a grotesque joke. You refuse to admit that I could feel a genuine attachment to it. You've tried to set up some kind of loathsome complicity between us, and that's what made me feel, Mark, to use your expression, how little binds us together these days. Your perpetual display of distrust.
It's true. I can't imagine you genuinely liking that painting.
But why?
Because I love Serge. And I can't love the Serge who's capable of buying that painting.
Why do you say buying? Why don't you say loving?
Because I can't say loving. I can't believe loving.
So why would I buy it if I didn't love it?
That's the nub of the question.
See how smug he is? I'm trying to be straightforward. He responds in this pompous, heavy-handed tone, and it never crossed your mind for a second, however improbable it might seem, that I might really love it. And that your vicious, inflexible opinions and your vile assumption of complicity might be hurtful to me.
No.
When you asked me what I thought of Paula, a girl who once spent an entire dinner party maintaining Ehlers-Danlos syndrome could be cured homeopathically, did I say I found her ugly, repellent, totally charmless? I could have.
Is that what you think of Paula?
What's your theory?
No, of course he doesn't think that. He couldn't possibly think that of Paula.
Answer me.
You see the effect you can have.
Do you think what you just said about Paula?
Worse, actually.
No.
Worse, Serge? Worse than repellent? Will you explain how someone can be worse than repellent?
Interesting. When it's something that concerns you personally, I see words can bite a little deeper.
Serge, will you explain how someone could be worse than repellent?
No need to take the frosty tone. Perhaps it's so. Let me try and answer. Perhaps it's the way that she waves away cigarette smoke.
The way she waves away cigarette smoke?
Yes, the way she waves away cigarette smoke. What appears to you to be a gesture of no significance, what you think of as a harmless gesture, is in fact the opposite. The way she waves away cigarette smoke sits tight at the heart of her repellentness.
You're speaking to me, Paula, the woman who shares my life in this intolerable terms because you disapprove of her method of waving away cigarette smoke.
That's right. Her method of waving away cigarette smoke condemns her out of hand.
Serge, before I completely lose control, you better explain yourself. This is very serious what you're doing.
A normal woman would say, I'm sorry, I find the smoke a bit uncomfortable. Would you mind moving your ashtray? But no, not her. She doesn't deign to speak. She describes her contempt in the air with this calculated gesture, wearily malicious. This hand movement she imagines is imperceptible, the implication of which is to say, go on, smoke, smoke. It's pathetic, but what's the point of calling attention to it? Which means you can't tell if it's you or the cigarette that's actually getting up her nose.
Oh, you're exaggerating.
You notice it too. He doesn't say that I'm wrong. He says that I'm exaggerating, but he does not say that I am wrong. Her method of waving away cigarette smoke reveals a cold, condescending, narrow-minded nature. Just when you're in the process of acquiring yourself, Mark, it's a shame, it's a real shame that you've taken up with such a life-denying woman.
All right, Paula's not a life-denying...
Take back everything you said, Serge.
No.
Yes, you have to.
Take back what you said.
Take it back. Just take it back. This is ridiculous.
Serge, for the last time, I demand you take what you said back.
In my view, the two of you are an aberration. A pair of fossils.
Ah! Ow! Ow! Oh! Jeez! Jeez!
All right, show me. Show me. Show me. Sit and show me. It's all right. It's all right. Wait a minute. I'll get something for you.
Man. You're complete freaks. Both of you.
All right. Here. Hold this. Hold that for a while. There you go.
Two normal men gone completely insane.
All right. Don't you get excited now.
No, that really hurt. If I find out you burst my eardrum...
Of course not.
Well, how do you know? You're not ear, nose, and throat. Two old friends, educated people.
Just calm down.
You can't demolish somebody because you don't like her method of waving away cigarette smoke.
Yes, you can.
Well, all right, but it doesn't make any sense.
What do you know makes sense?
That's right. Attack me. Keep attacking me. I could be hemorrhaging internally. I've just seen a mouse running by.
Oh, it's a rat.
A rat.
He comes and goes.
You have a rat.
Well, don't take the compress away. Here, just leave it where it is.
What's the matter with you? What's happened between you? Something must have happened to get you to get this demented.
I bought a work of art which makes Mark uncomfortable.
You're starting again. You're in a downward spiral. Both of you. You can't stop yourselves. It's like me and Colette. The most pathological relationship you can imagine.
Who's Colette?
My stepmother!
Oh, you haven't mentioned her for a while. I forgot.
Why don't you tell me right away what you thought about Paula?
I didn't want to upset you.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, when I asked you what you thought of Paula, what you said was, she's a perfect match for you.
Yes.
What sounded positive coming from you?
Sure.
Given the state you were in at the time.
All right, what are you trying to prove?
But today your assessment of Paula, or in other words, me, is far harsher.
I don't understand.
Of course you don't understand.
No, I don't understand.
Since I can no longer support you in your frenzied thought recent, craving for novelty, I'm becoming condescending, narrow-minded, and fossilized.
I'm in agony. It's like something's drilling through my brain.
Here, have a sip of the brandy.
What do you think? It's something shaking loose in my brain? Do you think alcohol's a little risky?
Do you want some aspirin?
Aspirin, well,
What do you want? What do you want?
Don't worry about me. Just carry on with your preposterous conversation. Don't pay any attention to me.
Easier said than done.
You might squeeze out a drop of compassion, but
I
no!
don't mind your spending time with Paula, Mark. I don't resent you being with Paula.
You have no reason to resent it.
But you do resent me. Well, I
Yes.
was about to say because of the Antrios, yes, but am I missing something more here?
I didn't replace you with Paula.
Are you saying that I replaced you with the Antrios?
Yes.
I replaced you with the Antrios.
Yes, with the Antrios. And everything it applies.
Do you understand what he's talking about?
No, I couldn't care less. You're both insane.
In my time, you've never bought that picture.
What is that supposed to mean, in your time?
The time you made a distinction between me and other people when you judged things by my standards.
Was there such a time?
That's just so cruel and petty.
No, I assure you, I am staggered.
And if Yvonne hadn't turned into a sponge, he'd back me up.
Keep going. Keep going. Water off a duck's back.
There was a time when you were proud to be my friend. You congratulate yourself on being a maverick, on my taste for standing apart. You enjoyed exhibiting me untamed in circles. I was your alibi. But eventually, I suppose, the kind of affection dries up. Belatedly, you claim you're independent.
Well, I like belatedly. I like belatedly a lot. But you know, if I understand you correctly, you seem to be implying, Mark, that you are my mentor? And if I loved you as my mentor, what was the nature of your feelings to me?
You can guess.
Yes, but I want to hear you say it.
I loved the way you saw me. I was flattered. I was always grateful to you for thinking of me as a man apart. I even thought of being a man apart was somehow superior. Until one day you pointed out to me that it wasn't.
This is very alarming.
It's the truth.
What a disaster. What a disaster. Mark, this is a disaster. Especially for you. Whereas you found your family, your penchant for idolatry, which has unearthed new objects of worship for the artist and for deconstruction.
What is deconstruction?
You don't know about deconstruction. Ask Serge. He's very much on top of the subject of deconstruction. To convince me some ridiculous art word is comprehensible, you pick a word from Builder's Weekly. Oh, you're smiling. You see, when you smile like that, I think there's some hope. Like an idiot.
Well, why don't you just make up and let's enjoy ourselves this evening? All of this, it's ludicrous.
It's my fault. We haven't seen much of one another lately. I've been away and you started mixing with the high end.
No, not at all. It's just some people only like conceptual art.
It's all the same thing.
No, it's not all the same thing.
You see, more evidence of how I let you slip away. Now when you talk, we can't even make ourselves
I
understood.
had no idea whatsoever. Really, it's come as a complete surprise how much I was under your influence, the extent to which you owned me.
Oh, didn't own you, as it turns out. You should never leave your friends unchaperoned. Your friends need to be chaperoned, otherwise they'll get away. Look at poor Yvonne. Chaotic behavior, used to delight us. We've allowed him to become this timid stationeer. Practically married. He bought up his originality and now he's making his effort to throw it away.
Us? He brought us. Do you know what you're saying? Everything has to revolve around you. Why can't you learn to love people for themselves, Mark?
What does that mean for themselves?
For what they are.
But what are they? What are they? Apart from my faith in them, I'm desperate to find a friend who has some kind of prior existence. So far, I've had no luck. I've had mold you, but it never works.
So, here we are. At the end of a 15-year friendship.
Yes.
Pathetic.
See, if only we'd managed to have a normal discussion. I mean, if only I'd been able to express myself without losing my temper.
Well?
Nothing.
Yes, go on. Why can't we exchange one single dispassionate word?
I don't believe in the values that dominate contemporary art. The rule of novelty. The rule of surprise. Surprise is dead meat to me. Serge, no sooner conceived than dead.
All right. So?
That's all.
That's all. That's your appeal to me? That surprise value? What are you even talking about?
A surprise that lasted quite a while, I'll admit.
Finkelstein is a genius. I told you he understood the whole thing.
I'd prefer if you'd stop umpiring, Yvonne, and stop imagining you're not fully implicated in this conversation.
You want to implicate me? I refuse. What does it have to do with me? I've already got a burst eardrum. You work things out for yourselves.
You see, Yvonne, what I can't bear about you at this moment, quite apart from what I've already told you, is your craving to put Serge and me on the same level. You would like us to be equal, to indulge your cowardliness, talking on equal footing, equal the way you thought of us when we were friends, but we never were equal, Yvonne. You have to choose.
I've chosen.
Excellent.
I don't need a supporter.
You're not going to turn the poor boy down, are you?
Why do we see each other? If we hate each other. It's obvious you do hate each other. I mean, I don't hate you, but you hate each other. And you hate me. So why do we see each other? I was looking forward to a relaxing evening after a ridiculously crazed week, meeting my two best friends, going to the movies, having a good time, getting away from all of these dramas.
Are you aware that you've talked about nothing but yourself?
Well, who are you talking about? Everybody talks about themselves.
You ruined our evening.
I ruined your evening.
Yes.
I ruined your evening. I ruined your evening.
Yes, but don't get too excited.
You're saying it's me who ruined your evening.
How many more times are you going to say it?
Just answer the question. Are you saying it's me who ruined
You
your
arrived
evening?
3/4 of an hour late. You don't apologize. You swap us with your domestic woes.
And your inertia, your neutral, your spectators' inertia, which lured Mark and me into the worst excesses.
You too. You're starting in on me too?
Yes, because on this subject, I'm entirely in agreement with him. You create the conditions of conflict.
You've been piping up with this finicky, subservient voice of reason ever since you arrived. It's intolerable.
You know, I could burst into tears. I could start crying right now. I'm very close to tears.
Cry.
Cry. You're telling me to cry?
You've got every reason to cry. You're losing your two best friends. You're marrying a gargoyle.
So is that it? It's all over.
You said it yourself, what's the point of seeing each other if we hate each other?
What about my wedding? You're my witnesses, remember?
Find someone else.
I can't.
You could pick someone else at the last minute.
You're not allowed to.
Of course you are.
You're not.
Don't panic. We'll come.
But what you should do is cancel the wedding.
He's right.
This is savage. What you're doing. You could have had your fight after the 12th, but no. You're determined to ruin my wedding. A wedding which has already been a catastrophe, which has made me lose 10 pounds, and now you're totally screwing it up. The only two people whose presence guaranteed some spark of satisfaction are determined to destroy one another. Just my luck. You think I like packs of Filofax paper or rolls of Scotch tape. You think my normal man wakes up one day desperate to sell expendable document wallets? What am I supposed to do? I farted around for 40 years. I made you laugh. Oh yes, wonderful. I made all my friends laugh their heads off playing the fool, but at night, who was left solitary as a rat? Who crawled back into his hole every night all on his own? This buffoon, dying of loneliness, who'd switch on anything that talks, and who does he find on the answering machine? His mother. His mother. His mother.
Don't get so upset.
Don't get so upset. Who upset me in the first place? Look at me. I don't have your refined sensibilities. I'm not a heavyweight. I don't have an opinion.
Calm down.
Well, don't tell me to calm down. What possible reason do I have to calm down? Are you trying to drive me crazy, telling me to calm down? Calm down's the worst thing you can say to someone who's lost his calm. I'm not like you. I don't want to be an authority figure. I don't want to be a point of reference. I don't want to be self-sufficient. I just want to be your friend. Ivan the Joker. Ivan the Joker.
Could we try to steer clear of pathos?
I'm finished. You got anything to nibble on? I'm over it. Anything, just to keep me from passing out.
Here are some olives.
Hand them over.
Want some?
Is there somewhere to put the bits?
Yes, hold on.
I like to think we've reached these extremes. Apocalypse because of a white square.
It's not white!
Piece of white crap. That's what it is. It's a piece of white crap. Face it, pal. You buying this thing is demented.
Do you have one of your famous felt tips?
What for? You're not going to draw on the painting.
Do you or don't you?
Just a minute. Yes.
Here, give it to me.
A blue one.
Give it.
You're not going to do it. You're raving lunatics, both of you.
Well, I'm starving. You want to go eat?
The day after the wedding, Catherine put her wedding bouquet in a little bag of sugared almonds on her mother's grave at the Montparnasse Cemetery. I slipped away to cry behind a monument, and in the evening, thinking again about this touching tribute, I started silently sobbing in my bed. I absolutely have to speak to Finkel's-on about this tendency to cry. I cry all the time. It's not normal for someone my age. It started, or at least clearly revealed itself at Serge's, the evening of the white painting. After Serge, in an act of pure madness, had demonstrated to Mark that he cared more about him than he did about his painting. We went and had dinner. Chez Emily. Over dinner, Serge and Mark made the decision to try to reconstruct a relationship destroyed by word and deed. At one point, one of them used the expression trial period. I burst into tears. This expression, trial period, applied to our friendship, set off in me an uncontrollable and ridiculous convulsion. In fact, I could no longer stand any kind of rational argument. Nothing formative in this world, nothing great or beautiful in this world has ever been born of rational argument.
When Mark and I succeeded in obliterating the skier with the aid of Swiss soap plus added ox gall recommended by Paula, I looked at the Antrios and I turned to Mark. Did you know that the ink from felt tips was washable? No, said Mark. No. Did you? No, I said very quickly. Lying. I came within an inch of saying, yes, I guess I did know, but how could I have launched our trial period with such a disappointing admission? On the other hand, was it right to start with a lie? A lie. Let's be reasonable. Why am I being so absurdly virtuous? Why does my relationship with Mark have to be so complicated?
Under the white clouds, snow is falling. You can't see the white clouds or the snow, or the cold or the white glow of the earth. A solitary man glides down the hill on his skis. The snow is falling. It falls until the man disappears back into the landscape. My friend Serge, who's one of my oldest friends, has bought a painting. It's a canvas about 2 feet by 3. It represents a man who moves across a space, then disappears.